All right, so we're diving into a text today with a pretty provocative title, The Queen of Everything.
It definitely catches your eye.
It does. But before you think we're getting into, fairy tales or actual royalty, the source makes something very clear right at the start.
Hmm.
This isn't about hierarchy, and maybe most importantly, it argues this isn't even really about gender.
Right, it's a deceptive title, in a way. The text uses the feminine form, sure, but it's describing a function,
Hmm.
a way of being.
So what's the core idea here?
It's a total redefinition of authority. The argument is that this archetype, the queen, she isn't a ruler who commands things. She's an axis who orients them.
An axis. Okay, that's a huge shift from how we usually think about power. So
Mm.
what does that even look like to be an axis instead of a ruler?
Well, think of a spinning top. The axis is the still point in the center, and everything else moves, in relation to it. It doesn't run around forcing the edges to move.
He just holds the center.
It holds the center. The source contrasts this with traditional power, which is often about domination. This is about creating coherence at scale. It doesn't dominate the system, it stabilizes it.
Coherence at scale. That sounds a little academic. Can you break that down?
It just means alignment without force.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. Traditional power often feels frantic, doesn't it? It's always checking, seeking approval, making sure people are obeying.
Yeah, there's a nervousness to it.
Exactly. But this kind of authority comes from self-possession. It's an inner certainty that's so solid you don't need anyone else to validate it.
So because you aren't insecure, you don't have to control everybody else.
That's it. That's the key. The text has this incredible insight. Control is only necessary when alignment is missing.
Wow, say that again.
Control is only necessary when alignment is missing. If you embody that access, you create an environment where all the parts just align naturally.
Which leads to the internal state you'd need for that. There's this one line that it floored me. She lives wherever self-abandonment has ended.
It's a heavy line.
It is. What is self-abandonment here?
It's all the ways we, chop off parts of ourselves to fit in. We suppress our boldness to seem agreeable, or we hide our sensitivity to seem
We
tough.
abandon those parts of ourselves.
We do. And this archetype, she has just stopped doing that. She holds all that complexity without breaking into pieces.
So she isn't choosing between being strong or being gentle.
She's both.
Mhm.
At the same time, the source actually lists these paradoxes: strength and gentleness,
Mm.
clarity and mystery, stillness and movement.
And autonomy and care, which almost always feel like opposites.
Right. And when you integrate those, your boundaries change. They stop being walls you build because you feel threatened. They just become clarity.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Okay, so that's the internal work. But how does this actually function out in the world? If you're not giving orders, how does anything get done?
The source uses two beautiful metaphors here: gravity and rhythm.
Gravity and rhythm. Why those two?
Because they're forces of nature, not acts of will. Gravity doesn't try to pull you down. It just is. A rhythm sets a pace without shouting. Her influence is subtle but total.
Which explains another line, that competition becomes irrelevant. Gravity isn't competing with anything.
Exactly. Because she understands sufficiency. She knows there's enough space, enough value, enough power, so there's no need to scramble.
And hierarchy softens around her.
It just melts away. Because she isn't rushing, she's not trying to force a result, she trusts the timing of things.
The text calls it ease without collapse.
Hmm.
And I think that's the fear for a lot of us, right? That if we stop controlling everything, it's all going to fall apart.
That is the core fear. But the argument here is that by becoming the axis, you actually make the world more stable. You don't rule the world.
You make it inhabitable.
You make it inhabitable. It's a shift from power over to, I guess, power from within.
So this isn't a person to become, but a state of alignment to find.
And that really brings up the big question for you, the listener.
Right.
If the text is right, if control is really just what we do when alignment is missing, where in your own life are you working too hard to force an outcome? It might be that you haven't found your own axis within it yet.